All right, Aiden, we're recording now. Okay, so I am the masked researcher, is what I'm calling myself for now. I'm keeping myself masked because I do not want to get my I don't want to lose my anonymity right now. It's not a good time. Anonymity. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I'm pronouncing it with a new accent, I guess, my own accent. Um, yeah. So I wanted to since let's actually see if anything has changed with Oprah because I messed up. So, for anyone who is just tuning in, if this is your first video you're watching, probably not. If you're like the few viewers that I've gotten so far, I made a mistake on Oprah, and I was trying to find her the file she was mentioned in. I accidentally spelled her name wrong. I spelled it the way the Bible spells it, and I forgot that her name has only one H instead of two. So that's where I messed up. I literally, less than a week ago, I think I read the story where Oprah is mentioned. It's a place in the Bible. It's not a person. So it's still at 100 as of today. It's still at 155 results, and that particular PDF. I want to go over it. The one that with the first blank screen. Like, it's okay, so it's EFTA 00144 I know you have limited time, so I wanted to just jump right into it. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Alright, I'm going to read it and see what we got going on here. I'm really fast, like, when I'm verbally, I cannot keep up with what I'm reading in my head. So I'm going to try and read it at a decent pace. If I see
That's
some,
fine. I think I'm the same way.
yeah. Okay, this is interesting. Thank you for the update below. By the way, it says hi to blank and blank. So thank you for the update below. I'm afraid I have to disagree with you that doing media interviews will be disadvantageous for me. I firmly stand my ground on this one, and I stand by all of my allegations with evidence to support each claim. Okay, this is already getting interesting. I want to explain why I think it would be a massive advantage to all the Epstein victims and me, especially after the last 24 hours, and how the media has completely and utterly destroyed me publicly. Oh boy. Yes, as it often does when you have this sort of scandal going on. Using me as political collateral damage to hide the crimes of rape and sex trafficking, knowing that they all don't have a leg to stand on trying to discredit me, especially with all the evidence I've sent to the media backing up my allegations, including JP Morgan emails and Citibank emails, during the time I was trafficked. Really? So this is someone that's a potential victim, okay. And after, when Adam followed me to London and lived in my house, prevented me from going to authorities in 2007 and 2008, whilst the plea bargain was being negotiated by Alan Dershowitz, who has worked on behalf of the State of Israel for decades. Can you believe the cheek of both Alan and Adam? The cheek of both Alan and Adam. I'm like, wait, I haven't. That's a really old term. The cheek of Alan. That's like an older British term. And it doesn't say who this is to or from. Like, it's just all blank. So it's and it even, oh boy, it even says the importance level is like normal. And we're not even done yet. So I'm gonna, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Starting off from the paragraph after it says both Alan and Adam. The cheek of them both. Also, I have photos of other rape and sex traffic victims standing right next to me on Epstein's Island that were used in both recent bank class actions. I've been trying for 7 years to get those other victims in court to testify and corroborate my story, especially of how my own starvation was used as entertainment and torture for all over an extended period, along with being raped repeatedly and sex trafficked. Also, the email correspondence between blank and me proves that very, very, very nicely. So thank you, Leslie. Would you still like me to send you naked pictures? Do you enjoy looking at them before you sent them to Jeffrey? Again, your other email to me demonstrates that, along with, I'm sure, the other 200 victims we have yet to hear testimony from. Am I reading this wrong? Again, your other email to me demonstrates, along with me, I'm sure, the other 200 victims we have yet to hear testimony from. Okay, I think I'm just not using the right tone. I've attached the relevant email. I want to fully explain in my interviews how the extended version of starvation inflicted upon me at the hands of Epstein Maxwell blank Epstein Maxwell blank and Co for Entertainment and Company for Entertainment and torture over a long period affected my body's physical and mental well-being considerably as I suffered significant health consequences. I've attached an article below highlighting what the starvation did to my body. It says, okay, it's from Medicine.net. How long does it take to die if you don't eat? I feel it is important, especially now, because I would like to highlight what the current Israeli hostages and the 2.3 million innocent civilians in Gaza are currently experiencing right now, seeming as I know what starvation being used as a weapon feels like. I'm also very conscious of the fact that 2.3 million innocent civilians, including women and children, are on the brink of famine. I've attached articles below. I would like to highlight this is my following interview. Blank and blank, as you know, I'm 3 months pregnant. I've attached my latest scan taken of this on the 2nd of January 2024. Please send it to Keir Steimer to remind him of what a biological woman is, seeming he has forgotten is potentially the United Kingdom's next leader. Yesterday, I had an appointment at the hospital with 4 medical professionals, 2 psychiatrists, a pediatrician, a gynecologist, and the father of my baby. Heaven above only knows what those poor pregnant women and new mothers are going through in Gaza and the West Bank, especially on babies, especially both coping. I know the stress. My body, and my mental well-being are going through. I feel truly blessed to have the medical care facilities available here, which is why it's so imperative to get medical care too. That's a fundamental human right, and they don't have any hospitals to go to or medical facility treatment. The public needs to know this. Can you imagine giving birth to your new baby in human feces and raw sewage? I can assure you both disappoint. Okay, this is 62 pages, a lot of talk. I don't want to keep talking about this the whole time because this is a very long, very detailed. Here we got Richard Branson, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and David Boys. I don't know who that is. That's a new name. I would like to set up an interview with. Okay, she wants to set up an interview with Richard Branson, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and David Boys, and publicly address that false allegations that I had made videos of them to blank. This is a very long, kind of confusing, because sometimes she actually does use improper grammar, which is part of the reason why I'm kind of stumbling over it, because I'll read it and it makes no sense grammatically. For example, I said the public needs to know I think it said the public need to know. I think needs is the correct term, but I could be wrong. This, it's not. I would like to publicly get on my knees and beg for their forgiveness for Branson, Clinton, and Trump because they can't sue me for defamation. I don't have any money. I guess this is the next best thing, because even when I get compensation for being raped and sex trafficked, I don't think they would want to take that because I've offered to get on my knees and beg for their forgiveness publicly. However, after I've done that, they must explain their relationship with Epstein and Company, especially Bill Clinton. I think it's important we have full transparency here. So I wonder if there is a way, because she's just going on a little bit more about like being sorry, legal fees, sex trafficking, Blank and blank, seeming as if I'm running out of time. I'm aware of the hearing with South Africa stating why the state of Israel is committing genocide. I've included the ICJ in this email, including the South African government. Okay, so it does eventually. This particular email does particularly end. It looks like it's a huge email thread that is a total of 62 pages, but it just goes on forever. And it says, "Kind regards, blank. P.S. Can all in this email contact sexual assault? Contact SA. No, it's contact SA. I'm sorry. I'm so used to seeing this. Oh boy. To contact SA to ask them to find a medical professional for tomorrow's hearing now. Stand by. I'm working as fast as I can." There's Marshall Law Firm. Okay, so whoever this is, they're talking to Marshall Law Firm, and they're going back and forth. Again, I would like to thank the media for your unfair reporting, especially a proven victim of rape and sex trafficking. You all failed to mention in your reporting the majority of photos that you all have been using to publicize the Epstein case for years, and it came directly from me. I have attached a few. Okay, I gotta see those. Isn't it interesting that blank claim against Andrew? Okay, that's probably Virginia Gouffre against Andrews based on a photo no one has ever seen, yet you've been using all of my photos for years. Isn't it interesting, isn't it, that yet you've publicly discredited me? I'm like kind of speed reading this because there's absolutely no way we can do 62 pages in the time period that you have available to be on call.
Yeah.
But this, okay. There is a lot, and I'm looking for any sort of images. Let's see if I can get anything to open. I don't see any links that will let me open. Just news articles. So this is interesting so far. No mention of Oprah, so I don't know why this is like the second thing that pops up. But this is from, even though it's blanked out, it looks like it's to the Marsh Law Firm team. So that could explain why the whole first page is completely blank for the to section, because it's for a lot of different people. At the Marsh Law Firm, like it looks like maybe she put everyone in there. But I'm looking to see if I can find the pictures, and I can't find anything. I'll search to see what else is in here. But that's interesting, because she's claiming that she actually didn't get raped by Trump and a bunch of others. Wait a minute. What were those names? Wait a minute, because all those names we just read, those look very familiar in this next thing. Yeah, this one deserves a bit of a deep dive. Unfortunately, like, this is the problem, is like everything is, you either have a bunch of really short emails, or you have really long emails, and then you can spend hours just combing through really short emails, and then when you get a really long email like this, it just, you can be going through it for hours, and very repetitive in here. Any thoughts on it so far? Like, anything look suspicious? We're talking about a lot of stuff. They're talking about tensions in Lebanon. But anything that stood out to you as I was reading it?
Nothing in particular. It does seem that she points at, situations across the world and not really getting to the root of, like what would be her personal connection in particular, outside of just, stating the fact that, she's a red herring.
She could be a red herring. I don't, like, that's something that I find interesting, and this is, okay, so anyone listening, this is actually something that does pop up, especially when you got lawsuits that are involved, is I think they found out that a few of the women that came out for the Bill Cosby, not a whole lot, but a small handful of women who came out for the Bill Cosby allegations, which he was eventually found guilty of, but then released on a technicality. What they found a few, I believe, that they were able to prove were lying, and they were just trying to get in on like the lawsuits. But I could be completely wrong on that. I could be 100% wrong on that. I'm not too sure, because I haven't checked that one out in a minute. But I'm going to see why Oprah is listed in this particular one. Okay. Here we go. Wait a minute. Okay. This is... Okay, so she did another one that's like... It's to Jonathan Harmsworth. I'll be adding you to my witness list in the ongoing litigation and investigations into Epstein Company, where you personally will be held accountable for aiding and abetting Epstein's sex trafficking ring, victim blaming and discrediting Epstein's victims, aid those who committed and are committing heinous crimes of rape and sex trafficking accountable. Names seeming as Daniel Bates, Blank, Callahan, Lucia Osborne, Victoria Hervey, Alan Dershowitz, and Boris Johnson are enthusiastic journalists of in other Z-class stations. This is what I'm saying. Never read this kind of stuff before. You will be investigated along with Rupert Murdoch and the New York Post. Because of Blank Callahan, I had to go into isolation and hiding for 2 years, and you all put my life in danger when Epstein located on Barcelona. By the way, this is not the one with Oprah. This was mentioned right before Oprah, and I had to read it because of how it ends. It was Sharon Kutcher, a Daily Mail journalist, who went down to see Blank with a photographer and took her and her husband to the FBI in Sydney. It was the Daily Mail that published the photo of Prince Andrew. Over the years, how many millions, billions have you made plugging the Prince Andrew story? I have even made complaints directly to the Daily Mail many, many times at the unfair constant plugging of only one male being held accountable for an entire sex trafficking ring. Why has not one journalist held another man in the Epstein ring accountable? Not one. Because it doesn't sell, that's the motto. So the royal family will evenly see you for who you are and how much you and your friends have deliberately caused harm to cash in on them, just like you did the Epstein victims and myself. Don Schneider will also be investigated and deposed along with Blank, Brad, and Judith. The list is actually very long now. Please don't delete any emails, WhatsApp messages, or any messages, because it will come out seeming as if this is against the FBI and U.S. government for abiding and abetting a sex trafficking ring, and I would go so far to say now treason. I, for one, would like to know what happened when Blank went to the FBI in Sydney before the photo came out. The royal family should investigate you, too. They made you and your friends incredibly wealthy over the years. They should just find out just how much you made off of them. It would be duly noted how long you punish me for exposing you before I get my compensation from J.P. Morgan. Let's see how much longer you will punish me, just like Epstein used to. You are the Epstein empire, and that is the end of that. And we don't know who that is directed to specifically. There's nothing here to like other than Jonathan Harmsworth. So I think it's meant to be for more than Jonathan. Okay, my bad. I'm thinking it's Jonathan Harmsworth. I'm just having a hard time here because it gets a little confusing. But between the blanks and some of the interesting grammar that's used, I get a little confused. But Jonathan Harmsworth, I don't know who that is, so he's probably someone to look up later. So I'll put him on a list. Oh boy. But right after that, Oprah is mentioned in another email. Okay, this is meant to address her. Okay, now, I thought maybe they were listing off a bunch of people, but no, this is meant to address not just her. It says Michelle Buford, Oprah Winfrey, Gayle King, Melinda Gates, and Bryn Friedman. Just in case you all accuse me of being racist and BLM, she says ASS, because that's all Epstein accomplices do to deviate from your heinous, despicable crimes, label false narratives on victims. You are joining the long list of witnesses below that I will be 100% adding to my personal witness list, seeming as I am still one of the lead plaintiffs in the current claim filed against the FBI and U.S. government, to which we are still waiting a response. A class action against the USVI was also filed on the 22nd of November against the USVI on behalf of all victims trafficked for decades to Little Saint Blank. We all know it's Little Saint James. Epstein Island, which will include myself too. Okay, that's another. I don't like this. They blank out stuff that's so obvious what they're blanking out. And it's like, that is clearly Little St. James. It's like when I first looked up Nadia the first time. Her name pops up in the description. It does not pop up in the actual file. When I open it up, it's blanked out. I don't know why that they do this. It just makes, like, the whole thing is just a mess, and I get frustrated reading these things because I'm used to reading stuff that doesn't have, like, the weirdest random names just blanked out. We know it's Little St. James. Why would it be anything else? Like, how many other islands did he own that started with Little Saint? Michelle Buford, I would like you to explain yourself now to me and everyone in this email, including the British government. You are very close with some very interesting characters, and I believe you are more invested in this Epstein scandal than I would like to imagine. What you have done to me has no words to describe it. Your friendship with Oprah and Gayle King should ring fire bells to all. And the friends I do not know about terrify me. You are the one who introduced me to Steve Ross as my agent, who has made my life a living hell, and he will be thoroughly investigated. You're also a devoted Harvard girl, as we went to the Harvard Club together for lunch, as you were a member there. The hotel booked me by HarperCollins was the Royalton Hotel, 44th Street, New York, which just happened to be a few doors down from the Harvard Club, where most mentioned frequently visit for secret meetings like David Ross, Stan, etc. How convenient my staying at the Royalton was for all mentioned. You see, Michelle, people don't know I met you like you met Oprah Winfrey, just the same way. You even went to the liberty of putting it on your website. I have also attached it for people to view. Okay. How'd you get a job with Oprah? This is a questionnaire. Like, this is like, it's, I think she copied and pasted this because it's got the link, and then it's got different color, different font text. How did you get a job with Oprah? I spotted a New Times piece about how Oprah was launching a magazine. I knew I had to find my way onto that project, and I did. 10 days later, I was sharing a Cosmo with Oprah. A week after that, I joined Oprah's inaugural team. Talk about defining an experience. The martini that changed everything. Okay. The martini that changed everything. We're getting this, that, I wonder if there's any implications there. It could have gotten roofied. I don't know. She already said Oprah was a part of this, along with Gates' ex-wife, Melinda Gates. Nobody knows that is exactly how I found and met you, through a random article that couldn't have been more clearly displayed through my Google search engine, because I use no other. And lo and behold, the article advertising your wonderful services as a ghostwriter, the New York Times. Just like magic. Never mind, my Google search history would show that I was actively looking for a ghostwriter. Brad Edwards knew of my wanting to write my book even before meeting you, Michelle. I remember you two connecting the two of you, as I should Brad, are working contact together for his advice. And we all know who Brad is, and Stan, and David, etc. Israeli intelligence is the most sophisticated in the world, and any person with knowledge in the military world will confirm this, just like it was confirmed to me a few days ago by someone. Israeli intelligence works hand in hand with Google and on on global surveillance projects like Project Nimbus and this. Is that AI or Al Gospel? It's Al Gospel, which everyone is dying to know because again, the majority of the world uses Google as their preferred search engine, and Michelle, the tool we used to write my book together, was Google Docs, which insisted on so you could see what I was writing real time throughout. Bearing in mind, I have been trying to out Sergey Brin and his ex, and I've been trying out to Sergey Brin and his ex, and Ward. Okay, it's spelled Worjikie. I'm gonna go with Wardjikie. For years and years, the mere fact that all of a sudden I see your article, Michelle, answers all my prayers. Well, a bloody miracle. The same way you met Oprah when she gave you a lifeline in life at the start of your career. I would also like to know more about the sexual abuse case in Oprah's school in South Africa, where 6 students were sexually assaulted after a year of opening in 2007. Not a good look, Oprah, and not your first time caught up in a rape scandal, it seems. Then you just blame South Africa instead of the country. Instead of admitting that it was you who, in fact, responsible. Yeah, you see, some of these people, so they are completely writing like. We only got a few minutes left, by the way, because I'm still like only can do 30-minute bits. So you got to get going, and I know you got to get going. I might do a follow-up by myself. But any thoughts? Because this is like. So far, this is like mentioning everything that we have so far heard about. And I did not see any particular pictures.
Yeah, today I'm just kind of in it for the ride. Also, just because I forgot to do it last 2 videos, the videos that I mentioned from like, just randomly are from a YouTuber called Zaffy.
Oh yes, Zaffy.
So go check him out because he does great work. He's a fellow masked YouTuber.
Yeah, I've only gotten a few other viewers so far. Hopefully we can get a few more. So if anyone's listening, Zaffy is a guy to go listen to about all this stuff.
He's more creative about it though, but
yeah, I think I'm gonna do a part 1 by myself because this is kind of crazy. Because so far we got Oprah, we got Epstein, we got the Gates, because Melinda's mentioned. I'm gonna just assume that somehow Bill is involved as well, because she claims she divorced Bill over the Epstein stuff, and Bill was, of course, good friends with Epstein. So we got them. We got, I believe, Alan Dershowitz. And the only reason why I say believe is because I'm really bad at remembering names. Who else did we have in there? Like, it was a long list. A lot of people in here that I've actually never seen either. Sergey Brin, his ex, and Wardjikie. Never seen those names. So, and then you got, of course, the Oprah sex scandal and trafficking and people being pregnant. We don't know who. She just mentioned there's a father.
I heard something crazy about Beyonce today, but of course, during these times, you hear crazy things about everybody.
Well, I've heard crazy things about her too, but it's one of those things where it's like, unless I see real evidence, which isn't real. You said red herring earlier. I'm thinking this could be a real one. It's hard.
Yeah, it could be real. Like, granted, it's kind of interesting. Like, anytime when somebody mentions coincidences from their lyrics to what they could have done with their actions. Like, it was the line of one of her songs where it was like, I carried 12 wagons or something like that, or I probably absolutely butchered this.
I'll look it up. I'll see what I can find later when I get a chance. But there's so many files. I was thinking about this. We go through.
Marriages, I think that's it.
We'll be going through these files for years. We're gonna need to get like a really advanced AI to go through these to figure out what's actually in here. But anyways, we got like just a few seconds left on the clock. I'm going to wrap this one up, and hopefully we'll be able to do longer videos in the near future.
Yeah.
All right, bye.